try to take my name off of. Oh,
All right, the lady said recording in progress, so we are being recorded. Petra, was there a comment? I didn't
no,
want to
that's all
cut
right.
you
I'm
off.
good.
All
All
right,
right.
so let me just say welcome to ACIM Talks, ladies and gentlemen. And it is, man, I messed up on this last week. Let me get it right. It's Monday, June 8th, correct, people?
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
Oh, did you know I had a birthday yesterday?
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Yay! All
Happy
right.
birthday.
So I am moving along, but I'm very grateful. I'm feeling peppy and filled with the spirit of the Creator. What more could I want? And on top of that, I get to be with you fine people for some high-level discussions, wouldn't you say? I mean, we talk about things that are super meaningful, things that are all about life and all of its depths and that. And so, kind of with that introductions, any comments or announcements or anything anyone has for the record tonight?
Jim, I have to leave early.
Okay, no problem there. Just kind of let us know and bow out, okay, Catherine?
Okay.
And
You
I won't be at the meeting tomorrow. I've got something else going on.
all right, Ron, no problem there, buddy. Thanks for letting us know. What if you have your agenda, the first thing I wanted to talk about tonight is the format of our weekly meetings. Now, we're involved in two, well, I shouldn't say because Petra doesn't know. We are involved in two studies. We're involved with a book study of the Kybalion discussing the seven Hermetic principles, but we are also continuing our oracle explorations in A Course in Miracles. And so, Petra, let me show you or tell you a little bit about the method behind the madness. Let me explain what oracle explanations are. The easiest way probably to do that, let me just do a screen share here and kind of show you. An oracle, uh-oh, no, 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 hold on. I'm doing something wrong apparently. All right, let's try this. We want to see people. Uh, Petra, what we do is, do you know what an oracle is? Let me start here. Petra.
Not necessarily.
Okay. An oracle is something or someone you go to ask for answers, to ask for wisdom to questions you have. And you
Okay, yeah.
super trust those because the oracle is in a higher place. Like in spirituality, we would go to the Holy Spirit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The oracle refers to the Holy Spirit. So we don't go through A Course in Miracles page by page anymore. Instead, we ask the oracle from time to time what we should study.
Okay.
So we've done that with selected chapters from the text of A Course in Miracles. And last week, for the first time, we're starting to ask the oracle about which workbook lessons we should study. Make sense?
It does? Okay.
Here's what the oracle said. we looked at lessons 1 through 50, and people here, I asked them, what's one of your favorite lessons, or what would you suggest? We just went around the room, right?
Mhm.
And we came up, we wanted 10 of the 50 for us to study. And here's what we came up with. Can you see it?
I can.
Let's put us up at the top. And I'm showing it to the rest of you tonight also. Does that make sense, what I'm saying, folks? Didn't we do that last time?
Yep.
And so here's the results. And it goes numerically from lowest lesson number to the highest we selected. So this is the work that we say the Holy Spirit wants us to review and discuss. So if that's okay, now let's go back to our agenda. What I would like to do, since the first 50 lessons are relatively short, is that we every week we not only do the Kybalion, but also do an Oracle workbook lesson, working from that list. So you see, tonight I have lesson 7. I see only the past. And then we'll do our book study of the Kybalion, and we're on page 7. Kathleen, how am I doing?
Okay.
All right. Remember how we used to alternate 1 week Unity and ACIM, the last big book study we did? And we do one week and one the other? Well, I think we do better to just kind of do a little bit of each week. What do you think, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
I think it sounds good.
Sounds okay.
So if you're willing, let's give it a try and see if you like it or not. I'm going to put that down. And I'm going to stop sharing. And does everyone have their Course in Miracles book? Please
Yep.
say yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's go to lesson 7 and do our first Oracle workbook exploration. And then after that, we'll get into the Kybalion. So, having said that, let's have our readers. Bear with us, Petra. You'll see how this goes. Catherine,
Okay.
are you reading? Catherine? Is she there?
Yeah.
Yes, so you're reader 1. Joan, how about you? Yes or no?
Well, my eyes are bothering me.
Yeah, no problem, dear. Hilda, no for you, right?
No for me.
Okay, so Ron is reader 2, Laverne is reader 3, Kathleen is reader 4.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can read the Course in Miracles, but I can't read the Kybalion because I don't have that yet.
all right. So, Petra, you have it. See if you have it. If you have it, you'll be
I
reading.
do. I think I can read both. Yeah.
All right. So you'll be
Jim,
after Kathleen. Yes,
right.
Laverne.
I do have it on Kindle. I think I can share it, I believe, for those that don't have it when we get to it, the Kybalion. I can share my
I think
screen.
yes, I appreciate that, but I think everybody said they had it.
I'm gonna see if I can. If I had the book
Yeah.
that I was able to pull it up.
The only
But thank you.
question
I
is
appreciate it.
Petra, so she'll let us know, okay, Laverne?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You'll
sure.
know.
I
Yeah.
don't have it.
Yeah, I
Thank
thought
you.
Kathleen said she
Yeah.
didn't have it, but that's okay. Yeah.
That's
Kathleen,
okay. I'll listen.
Yeah. Mhm. Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Sorry about
No,
that. I
no
Go
problem. I'll
ahead.
just
misunderstood.
That's
listen.
okay. That's okay.
Catherine, let's get things started then. Get this show on the road.
Okay, I see only the past. This idea is particularly difficult to believe at first, yet it is the rationale for all of the preceding ones. It is the reason why nothing that you see means anything. It is the reason why you have given everything you see all the meaning that it has for you. It is the reason why you do not understand anything you see. It is the reason why your thoughts do not mean anything and why they are like the things you see. It is the reason why you are never upset for the reason you think.
Hmm.
It is the reason why you are upset because you see something that is not there.
Thank you, Catherine. Now, keep in mind, what I want to do is kind of read through it. If you have a burning question, we'll stop. But what I'd like to do is read through it, do a brief meditation on what we've read, and then see if you want to discuss anything. Is that okay?
Yes.
Maybe Spirit will give you some insight during meditation. Ron, you're the next reader, paragraph 2.
Okay. Old ideas about time are very difficult to change because everything you believe is rooted in time and depends on your not learning these new ideas about it. Yet that is precisely why you need new ideas about time. This first time idea is not really so strange as it may sound at first.
Thank you, Ron. And then let's go to Laverne for that next paragraph.
Look at a cup, for example. Do you see a cup? Or are you merely reviewing your past experiences of picking up a cup, being thirsty, drinking from a cup, feeling the rim of a cup against your lips, having breakfast, and so on? Are you not aesthetic reactions to the cup? Are not your aesthetic reactions to the cup too based on past experiences? How else would you know whether or not this kind of cup will break if you drop it? What do you know about this cup except what you learned in the past? You would have no idea what this cup is except for your past learning. Do you then really see it?
Right. And now, Kathleen, you're not able to read.
No, I can read Course in Miracles.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Please do.
Okay.
Paragraph 4.
Look about you. This is equally true of whatever you look at. Acknowledge this by applying the idea for today's indiscriminately to whatever catches your eye. For example, I see only the past in this pencil. I see only the past in this shoe. I see only the past in this hand. I see only the past in that body. I see only the past in that face.
And I'll read the next one if that's okay. Jesus says, do not linger over any one thing in particular, but remember to omit nothing specifically. Glance briefly at each subject and then move on to the next. 3 or 4 practice periods, each to last a minute or so, will be enough. So why don't we take maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes and just reflect on I see only the past. I brought a little background music, so I'll put that on. And just consider with the Holy Spirit, hopefully, I see only the past. I see only the past. Why do you think, what's the point of this lesson to you? I mean, why is it important to know that you see only the past? Is that a good starting point for our discussion? Why
Well,
did Jesus?
I would like
Yes.
to I would like to know how I can unpreoccupy my mind from seeing only past thoughts.
Okay.
I, 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 I I can only say for me, and I've started doing this, is I'm in the process of rewiring my brain. So when I know a thought comes from, say, fear, I know fear
Mhm.
comes from a place of my past experiences, so that when I start feeling that fear in my body, I say to myself, this is an emotion that's coming up from the past that's influencing my present. But in my
Mhm.
present, it has no effect because
Mhm.
it's an old feeling. It's an old
Okay.
thing. It's coming from my past.
Mhm.
So it's like saying thank you to that thought that I get, but knowing that it's no longer applicable for me to look at the world through that lens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good full
That's good.
response, Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
Some other comments. Why is Jesus attempting to advise us about seeing only the past?
I see it as being our past experiences that we've had. We've all had
Yeah.
different past experiences, and that's how we see the present moment from that past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
More accurately, isn't it from our interpretation of that
Mhm.
past?
Yeah. Perception.
All right.
Yeah.
Forgive me, I had to jump in there. Kathleen, were you going to say
Well,
something?
and I was just going to say 7 is a segue into lesson 8, where
And
lesson
what
8
does
says
lesson 8
my
say?
my my mind is preoccupied with past
All
thoughts.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, go ahead, dear. I'm
I
sorry.
was just going to say, for me, it's getting me in the it's part of that reprogramming on how I look at when I look at what I'm looking at, how I'm looking at it,
Okay.
if that
Right.
makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
about perception. You're perceiving the present based on the past.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
The
the other question I had was, I remember that I don't know how many of us here have seen that movie, that documentary. What the bleep do I know?
Oh yeah. Boy,
Anybody?
that's a classic for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Petra, have you seen that movie? What the
The
bleep do
bleep
we
do I?
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen it once a while back. Yeah,
All
Yeah.
right. Go
but
ahead,
it's been a
Roberta.
while.
Yeah,
The thing that sticks out for me was when the ship was approaching this island and the islanders could not see it
yes.
because they had never seen a ship before.
Right. They
So
didn't
even
have
though it was,
anything to go ahead, dear.
yeah, so even though it was approaching, they didn't see it, and it was right there in front of their faces because they had never seen a ship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, so it says the reason we do not understand anything, we don't know what it's for
We
because we're
don't
basing it on our past.
we have to have an association for it.
Yeah.
And we think it's here's a good time. What does it mean to remember? What does remember mean?
Mm.
To know again?
Going over the past is going back over those
All right.
past
And,
experiences.
and so what we interpret depends on what we use to interpret. And
Yeah.
if we use memory, the memory comes from what we were taught, or at least our interpretation of what life is, how life works, what are the objects that we use every day, what we're supposed to do through tradition and passing on for generation after generation their shared experience. They've taught us and told us how to interpret experiences. Our interpretation of experiences is a lot contingent, we thought, on what we've been taught, what we've learned before. But isn't Jesus going to tell us that what we've been taught was erroneous? Lessons 1 through 50, you experience course students, is where the purpose primarily is to clean house, isn't it? He's trying to get us from thinking that the old way we looked at life is the only way to interpret our
Well,
experiences. There's a
it,
comment.
well, I was just going to say it's kind of like you don't know what you don't know until someone tells you you don't know. So these 50 are showing us what we don't know because we were so into just being
Yeah.
in where we were. And this is kind of easing us out of it. It's showing us a new way of thinking.
And that is the deepest thing I had ever run into. I don't know about you, but for me, I didn't know there were two thought systems. It never even occurred. It was not even on my radar that the thought system that, had come from my upbringing was not the only, like, you have to get married, right? You grow
Mhm.
up, you go to work, you get married, you have kids, you have a white picket fence. Y'all know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
That was the image, the example of how life worked. You didn't let other people take anything from you. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to be an individual. You have to make good decisions. You have to take control of your life. You have to be free and be an individual. That's good, right? And he's getting ready to tell us, no, it's not. Isn't that where you see this going since you've been through this stuff before? He's cleaning house of the past.
Well, I'm sitting here
Ah.
thinking about this whole book of the Bible is all about the past. So why I don't even want to go there.
But I can see how we're tempted. And for me, I'm just going to share how amazing this is, how audacious this is to get other people to understand it. What is it that made you pursue it? Because wasn't it crazy when you first read it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was like Greek to me and I just put it down. And then a couple years later, it just said, "Well, pick it up again." And then when I read it, it made more sense. You know, it's I think it's like what you're ready to hear, you'll hear.
Yeah. And there's something that is compelling about it. Even though it didn't make sense, you didn't stop trying to read it. Petra, you following along okay, what we're talking about?
I am.
Uh, what's your experience with this cleaning house that the course does? Were you willing to accept that there was another way of seeing things? Uh, Before you answer, if you have your books there, the
Okay.
introduction to the workbook for students, it's on page 1 of the workbook. Let me
Jim, do you
show
mind
you.
holding up your book? May I see your book?
Oh, we're in A Course in Miracles now.
Right, but
But
can I
even
see your book?
so, yeah,
Right,
could
can I see your
someone
book?
hold up their book? My Zoom background makes it distorted. Can you show her? See, Sherilyn's holding up A Course in
Okay.
Miracles.
Okay. Let me
And
go grab mine. Let me go grab
oh,
that one.
sure. All
Because the
right.
one I
And
have
while
is
you
this one.
do that, let me just
Yeah.
cover the introduction so you can see what we were getting into. Maybe you missed it on page 1. For some reason, I can't find it, but I will. Is anyone on page 1, the
Yes.
introduction?
Yes.
Yes.
And if you'll go down to paragraph 4, do you see paragraph 4?
Yes.
And
Yes.
thankfully, Petra will be back in a minute. Let me just read it and see what you think in the context of what we were talking about. The purpose of the workbook is to train your mind in a systematic way to a different perception of how many things?
Everyone.
Everything in
And
the
everything.
world.
Petra, you're back. Can you find, when you find page 1 in the workbook, that's
Well, I
where
have
we
this
are.
one, so it might still be different, the pearl one.
Well, I doubt it'll be that much different if
Okay.
you have page 1. But what we're
Page 1?
speaking to of the it's the introduction to the
Okay.
workbook for students.
Okay.
And
Yes.
In the middle of
Introduction
the
to
book.
Miracles?
yes, well, yes, is it paragraph 4? The purpose of the workbook, do you see that?
Paragraph. I'm in Introduction to Miracles. I don't think I'm at the
No
same.
worries, just let me read it. You'll get the
Okay.
point. The
Okay.
purpose of this workbook, Jesus is talking about the workbook for students, the 365 lessons coming up, right?
Yes.
Is to train your mind in a systematic way to a different perception of everyone and everything in the world. Is that an audacious statement or what?
Yes.
Who is this that would have the audacity to, to, to say credibly that that can even be done?
I know.
So now we're 7 lessons in his transformation. And yet there's something about the way he explains it that's very compelling. I've been doing this stuff for 20 years. How long you been doing it? But it is slowly changing your mind in a systematic way about the purpose of everyone and everything in the world. I was a serious Bible student. I've been interested in religion and spirituality for a while, but I had never read a book that just said it such a practical statement. Weren't you amazed, or did you even think about it? And yet, for me, 20 years later, it seems to be delivering on its promise. Your thoughts?
I like that the Course in Miracles doesn't demand us to do this or do that. It just offers some suggestions, some ideas. It doesn't put pressure on us. I love that part.
And I think I agree, Ron. And overall, it just says you don't have to believe it or anything. Just keep an open mind and I'll do it for you. I'll show you. And here, 20 years later, I must be kind of satisfied with the results. How about you?
Yes.
So that's our Oracle exploration tonight, and I hope it offers some insights. I'm not the expert, but I try not to be. I just come here and try and let spirit speak through me like ACIM says it will if I just keep an open mind. And
So,
so there's,
um,
yes,
so my question, I guess, is how we're going to be tying this into the Kybalion.
we're not. There are
We're not.
two
Okay. All right.
possibly compatible paths that
Okay.
will follow. I hope
Mhm.
Okay.
you get some value out of this and these segments. And
Mhm.
now we're getting, thank you for the segue, Laverne. Very nice. I think we're ready to turn our attention to the Kybalion, which I am going to contend is simply another version of truth, like A Course in Miracles. Why don't you get your Kybalion out? We're on page 7 and pick up with our next reader, who is Miss Sherilyn White. Thank you for being here, Miss White.
Thank you. I'm
All
sorry I was
right.
late, but I did figure it out.
All right.
I
And we,
probably can't read because I don't have a book in my hands.
oh,
I
all
have
right.
it online too. I haven't done that yet, Jim.
All
I'll
right.
get it this
Do
week.
you have the book at all?
I have it online on my
Okay.
email that you sent me a
Well,
long time ago.
if, okay,
I
you
can't
can
turn the pages
listen.
as
No problem, dear. I'll tell you
okay.
what, I'll be the first reader.
All
And
right.
we're on page 7 in the Kybalion. Now, Petra, this is kind of the first main chapter of the Kybalion. Last week we started from the preface and the introduction and that. And now we're finally getting into the first official chapter. I think Catherine, it looks like, had to leave, but she had let us know. Anyhow, the first chapter is called The Hermetic Philosophy. The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding. From old Egypt have come the fundamental esoteric and occult teachings, which have so strongly influenced the philosophies of all races, nations, and peoples for several thousand years. Egypt, the home of the pyramids and the Sphinx, was the birthplace of the hidden wisdom and mystic teachings. From her secret doctrine, all nations have borrowed. India, Persia, Chaldea, Media, China, Japan, Assyria, ancient Greece, and Rome, and other ancient countries partook liberally at the feast of knowledge, which the Hierophants, I hope I'm saying that right, and masters of the land of Isis so freely provided for those who came prepared to partake of the great store of mystic and occult lore which masterminds which the masterminds of that ancient land had gathered together. Man, I thought A Course in Miracles had long sentences. Was that one? It was almost one sentence that made up the whole paragraph. At any rate, let me pause here and ask what's coming to you guys so far. How about the opening quote there about the lips of wisdom? What is he? What is the Kybalion? Now, the italicized quotes are directly from the Kybalion, right? What's being said there, just to get us started here?
Well, I think Kathleen said it earlier, or somebody said it earlier that you have to have, you have to want to hear it. You have to, if you, it means nothing if you can't hear it and you don't understand it. And it gets back to those seeds you were talking about, the
Yeah,
parable of the seeds. You can plant the seeds, but if the soil's not
yeah.
ready for the seed is not going to grow or manifest anything. So if you're not ready for that wisdom, you won't be able to hear it. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty much what they're saying.
I've heard the same thing in the Bible or in the book of Thomas, most notably in the book of Thomas. But in the Bible, many times you'd hear Jesus say, "Let those who have eyes see, and those who have ears hear." If your eyes haven't been open, you won't see it. If your ears haven't been opened, you won't hear it. To me, in line with what we read about seeing only the past, once you believe something is true, you have a tendency to constrict reality into what fits that model of reality that you have. So if it doesn't fit, you say you don't even consider it because it's impossible. If it doesn't fit in one of your categories of reality, you dismiss it as unreal. Doesn't that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Well, what forms what makes sense to you? Your interpretation of the past. There's a link right there. Who was just asking me about okay, what do you think, Laverne? Are we matching with I see only the past?
Comes
Yeah.
in line.
If you
Mm-hmm.
constrict around your belief of reality, you can't see other things. But if you open, if you don't hold that old thing so dear, now maybe you can be taught. Maybe there's something else. Maybe there's another way. Let's read a little more, unless you have something else. We're back to, oh, Catherine left. Ron, would you read, sir, the second paragraph?
Starts out in ancient Egypt,
Yep.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In ancient Egypt dwelt the great adepts and masters who have never been surpassed and who seldom have been equaled. During the centuries that have taken their professional flight since the days of the great Hermes. In Egypt was located the great lodge of lodges of the mystics. At the doors of her temples entered the neophytes, who afterward, as
Close enough.
hierophants,
Yeah.
adepts, and masters, traveled to the four corners of the earth, carrying with them the precious knowledge which they were ready, anxious, and willing to pass to those who were ready to receive the same. All students of the occult recognize the debt that they owe to their vulnerable masters of that ancient land.
Let me just ask a question here since you've ended the paragraph. What does occult mean? It means hidden. Now that's pretty innocuous, but I don't know about you, but whenever I was taught the occult was something sinister, evil,
Yeah.
or I at least somehow associated it with something negative or evil or unreal or magic or and all of those things. But it simply means hidden.
So
Now,
yeah.
yes, go ahead there.
But it just hit me when they said the four corners of the earth, because at one time they thought the earth was flat. So
Yeah.
that just that I know you were talking about something different, but that just stuck out when Ron was
Yes.
reading that, and they said the four corners of the earth, this wisdom was spread all around to the four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering, who was the author? How, when
Well,
was this? When was this written?
that's just the thing. This stuff is so old that we can't say for certain that Hermes was a real figure, was a real human, because God, I'm getting it mixed up now, but it's mythological in the sense that it said, and we'll read it here, we already did, that Hermes was said to be a contemporary of Abraham, from Genesis in the
Mm-hmm.
Bible. It's
Mm-hmm.
also talks about when they went to the land of Egypt, and now we're into the realm of pyramids and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
do you have your agenda there? A quote I put at the top. It said that in Egyptian, they gave Hermes the name Thoth, one of
Yeah.
their gods, Thoth.
Right. Right.
So was Hermes a man or a god?
Well, they asked the same question about Jesus. Was
Uh,
Jesus a man or a
uh-huh.
God? So I'm sure it's the
Okay.
same type of history. You know,
So I'm just trying to show you that we don't know for sure, but whatever it is, it seemed to be very powerful because its principles seem to be embedded in all religions and
right,
all
Right, right,
spiritualities
right,
throughout time.
right,
right,
right.
And that is what is compelling about it, is that it has survived these principles, these
Right.
seven principles is true since
right,
time immemorial for us, you
right.
see.
Right.
So anything that's permanent that lasts must be truth. If it's
Yeah,
so, and yeah,
because
so
the
all
truth is
religions are related because they all have that
they have
foundation.
some of these principles. And
Right.
so, what a wonderful advantage for us who are able to study these principles that are the bedrock and seem to have been the bedrock or true of everything. So, if you've ever
Mhm.
asked a question like, what is life and how does it work? We should be in for some profound insights in this book. Now, is this true? I have no idea, but
I,
it, go ahead, Kathleen.
I would just say what makes it true for me is when I hear it in another vernacular. And when I
Yeah,
keep hearing it over and over, I go, this is the truth. And when I hear it over and over and it resonates throughout my whole being
yeah,
as being the truth, I know it's the truth. And I think that in my this is just my little philosophy is because there are so many different peoples and so many different things, spirit, God, whoever presents it in so many different ways so that he can reach the people who need to hear it, but need to hear it in a certain way.
correct. And
Correct.
those are
Mm-hmm.
principles of A Course in Miracles as well. It's that if you run into a brother or sister who is not ready for direct teachings, you do indirect teachings. You put it in remember how Jesus often spoke in parables to the public? Because they couldn't accept a direct form. he had to put it in a form to show them what it's like. Okay. Uh, because they didn't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear the direct teaching. So, do you see what a loving response that is? That you can teach the same thing in different forms. How am I doing here?
You're doing good.
Well, you're doing well.
Great. I think
Makes
you're great.
sense. And willing to, that sentence says, and they traveled all over carrying with them this precious knowledge, which they were anxious and willing to pass on to those who were ready,
And why wouldn't they why would they want to pass it on to people who were not ready?
because they wouldn't be able to hear it the first.
Yeah.
Okay, and what else? They might, through their misinterpretation, want to crucify him. Didn't we talk about that a little bit last week? A lot of times, this information
The fear,
couldn't be shared out of fear of persecution.
Mm-hmm.
How am I doing, Hilda? I haven't heard from you or Cheryl. I mean, or Joni. Y'all good?
Well, you can all kind of put it together and talk about the past, going back to thousands of years. Really hasn't changed that much, anyways, because it's just that the language is and the experience that people have are the basis for some new language, some new words, and so if we were going back to 2,000 years ago and they would speak and we would listen to somebody using that language, we wouldn't know what to do with it.
Sure.
So it's an evolutionary process of the education that goes on. And you could say, well, it was probably somebody coming from outer space here and little by little is teaching us, what the meaning of life is all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I think it makes sense to me. I mean, it kind of leads in that well, I don't know, maybe I'm just making this my own thoughts, but I think Jesus probably visited the old country several thousand years ago, and in the philosophies from like India or China, come upon him, from Africa were coming up on him, and he used all this, and because of it was able then to create a new way of saying, well, what I learned, they won't understand. So I'm going to put it in a language that they will understand. And today, when we read these books today, I mean, like this obviously was written by people living, whatever, 50 years ago or so.
More like 100 now.
They're using the language that we now can understand and we're ready to accept. And that might be, the Course of Miracles was a stepping stone to the Hermetic philosophy, or vice versa. It all meshes together anyways.
You make some very excellent points. It could be that the universe uses different messengers throughout time. Maybe Hermes, maybe Jesus was one. Maybe
Buddha.
This is terrible. Why can't I think of the Power of Now guy? Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle.
Okay, what I'm trying to point out is maybe all of these people have been the same spirit. Like one came as Jesus, another came as Martin Luther King Jr., another came as, I don't know, Ron Cohen, another one came as Jim. Because if we're all spirits coming from the same spirit, but with a message designed for particular audiences.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a Kathleen Erickson's spirit in the form of Kathleen. But doesn't that fit that we're all spirits having a human experience?
Yes.
But we're all one anyways.
Maybe we're all on the the world is a stage and all of us are actors in a particular play. But what's the purpose of the play? What's the point of the play?
The lessons to get to
Lessons
All right.
teaching.
right to
Lesson
learn from it.
193, all
Mhm.
things are lessons. What if this is a lesson playing and we're all playing different roles designed ultimately as a teaching tool?
Right.
Am I crazy or what? Petra, am I crazy? You're new.
No,
You can imagine how we sound to other people.
No, I think it sounds great.
All right, so we just here surrendering to spirit. Joan, what do you want to say? I know you got something going.
I just find it very interesting that this is pretty much saying the same thing the Course says. And
So far,
I'm glad you're doing this.
yeah. The course was published in 1976. A precursor to that was the work of Sigmund Freud in psychology. And what the course is, since we were introduced to psychology some years ago, the course is taking a psychological approach to changing your mind. Why would the course seek to change your mind? Why your mind, not your external circumstances? Why?
Your mind is the controller of the external circumstance.
All right. So go with me, if you will, to page 13 that talks about the 7 Hermetic principles. We're going to close shortly. Thank you for staying with me. Do you see it? And it's going to go through the 7 principles, right? What's the first principle on page 13?
Everything is mental.
Mentalism.
The all is mind. The universe is mental. That's reality.
right.
What's unreality then? The mental or the physical?
The physical.
The mental is reality.
The physical
Physical is
is
an
an
illusion.
effect. Yes, the physical is
It's an
an
effect of the
effect
mental.
or manifestation. How long have you heard as a man think of so is he?
Forever.
Isn't that saying the same thing as Hermes?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not that you haven't heard these things before. It's that you you could not see then and you could not hear. So the words could not take root in you in the way that they do now. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. It's so interesting when we're talking about Hildegard talking about um, how information is presented to us in different ways and different forms to meet us where we are. So I talk to my granddaughter all the time, and I talk to her about principles that are coming from the Course in Miracles, principles that are coming from unity. And so now she's working on her doctorate and she's going to a Christian college and she's telling me things that she's learning now, which is the same thing I've been telling her, only it's worded in a different way.
Yeah.
But she doesn't recognize
Okay,
that this, I'm saying, haven't I been saying this to you all the time? And she doesn't recognize, she
that's right.
recognizes it coming from
Okay,
that perspective, but she doesn't recognize that I've
okay.
been telling you that
Now think of
over and
this
over again.
metaphor in the Bible, the parable of the sower.
Yeah,
We talked about it. Y'all know what I mean.
yeah,
You can spread the seed, but whether or not they can receive it is not up to you. Isn't that an example of that principle?
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're being exposed to some stuff that should be able to really help us in all aspects of living because we're seeing a reliable description of how life really works. So I'm excited as I was when we first started tonight. Uh, I'm going to start wrapping things up. I know we didn't make that much progress in the Kybalion, but I hope you find these little Oracle workbook explorations valuable too as we get together every week. Next week, we'll start with the Kybalion and end with an oracle explanation. Does that, or exploration? I'll get it right. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
All right. Petra, did you have a
Yes.
good time?
I did. I did. I think it's very wonderful how you were able to take the lesson and picked anyone from the book and able to apply it right away to the Kybalion and see the similarities.
Yeah,
So I think it's beautiful.
but notice how it corresponded, but I didn't pick the lesson.
Right.
Let's
Right. It was
see
there.
how the rest correlate and work together with what our group is studying.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, final comments, questions, criticism. I'm open.
Thank you.
All right. Can you give me a
Thank you.
big smile and we'll get on out of here? And all right, all right, all right. Y'all look good too. Hey, guys, we
Hope
did.
you
Bye-bye.
feel better. Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember our family discussion periods that we used to
Mm.
have where we would stop recording and just talk for a few minutes after? I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that tonight, but I would like to re-implement it. Petra, you'll see what I mean by that, but the rest of you seem to enjoy it. So we'll start putting that as part of our meetings as soon as possible, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Anything else? Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm going to close things out. I'll see you next time, all right?
Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks
All righty.
again.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
Jim.
Have a
Bye.
blessed
Bye-bye,
week,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.